Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex, a.k.a. Tell him. Before we get started, subscribe to the page. Give me a like, share with a friend. Got any questions, comments, concern? Hit me below. Like I said, hit me below if you got anything to say and whatnot. Keep it respectful and we can chat about it. Like I tell you all the time, it's just a game, it's just football. Well, we getting ready to go into the conference championship, but we're gonna talk about the divisional playoffs real quick here. Games was just crazy. Certain performances were just ridiculous to even see. I'm gonna jump on this right now. With the Bills and the Broncos, 33-30 with the Broncos and whatnot. Josh Allen blew it. He blew it. Even with 4 turnovers, they were still basically in this game. They only lost by 3. Still in the game. You cannot turn the football over, especially in these particular type of games, 4 times and expect to win. Everybody's damn near giving Josh a pass. I don't see why. Path is clear. Clear. You only had dealing with Bo Nix, dealing with May, whomever. All the quarterbacks that he was dealing with was a bunch of newbies. Everybody kept trying to put that guy in over in Cincinnati. I'm like, Josh ain't had to been worrying about that cat in 3 years because Burrow and the Bengals haven't been in the playoffs in 3 years. So I don't even know why they kept putting Burrow up there, but that is neither here nor there. But Lamar's not there, Mahomes is not there, so clear path, still blew it. Sickening a turnover right there before halftime with the first down. All he had to do was slide and we're done. He's trying to do whatever. Ball gets knocked out of his hands, and then they almost try to blame the fucking lineman for not jumping on the ball, which would have took him out of the first down to begin with. So, he stuck it up. Even though he threw 3 touchdown passes and stuff like that because they're not going to win without him. But it's like, what did he do? He turned the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over. You turn the ball over 3 or 4 times. You can get away with twice in the playoffs, 3-4 times, dude. You're going to lose. That's just the numbers of the game. You're going to lose. Okay. Seahawks and 49ers. I already seen this coming. They played a couple of weeks ago. Seattle really wasn't in there as far as offense was concerned that week, but they had everything clicking. Walker had everything going on with them. Them guys just ran over the 49ers. 49ers just basically ran out of bodies. Got to have bodies when you're going into the playoffs, not losing bodies while you're trying to get into the playoffs. About Kittle's McCaffrey hurt as usual. Look for him to barely play any next year. In the next when they start up the 2026 season. See what happens with him there. Probably won't even make it through the season. That's his MO. Purdy looked ridiculously sorry. Yeah, man. So that was no mistake. That was no surprise. That was an ass whooping that was willing to happen. Should have happened a couple of weeks ago, even though they did win, but they should have beat them like they beat them the last time. That defense finally got a chance to actually really, really watch them, because some games I can't watch because I don't see them like that. I just see highlights. It's not until I really sit down and watch. I say, and them guys' defense is ridiculous. Seahawks defense is ridiculous. Texans and Patriots, C.J. Stroud. And I'm going to get into this later. C.J. Stroud with 5 turnovers, 6 or 7 in the last couple of weeks, going to the wild card round against Pittsburgh. The young man has regressed every year. Every fucking year. And they still, with 3 minutes left, had an opportunity, but the guy jumped a little early for the pass with about 2 or 3 minutes left. If he catches the ball, they're only about the 7 or 8 yard line possibly, but he couldn't come up with the catch, so they still had a chance, but didn't happen. But I'll talk about C.J. Stroud later. Drake May's playing the lights out. Got to give it to the kid. I like the kid when he's at Carolina and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens, though. We'll see. Next, Brady, way too early to tell. Top 5, way too early to tell. Let's calm that shit down some. All right? Rams and Bears, another one. Even with Caleb Williams doing what he did, and that remarkable throw, that remarkable play, all goes to waste because their defense couldn't make a stop. And I said this when they played the 49ers a few weeks ago. And I'm like, the Bears don't have a good tackling defense at all. They take away the ball a lot. That's what got them there. That's why they got to the place where they got to in the divisional round. But they're not a very good defense per se on what you want your defense to be, really strong and tackling and everything like that. But they harassed Stafford all night. Stafford looked like he was back in Detroit. But they keep going to the well, keep going to the well. And Chicago just would not stick to running the ball. And those ridiculous plays that they kept calling when obviously you're not going to get anything up the middle. They're going to show it up. It's like they know you're going to run. All they got to do is run the ball from the outside. Do a sweep and let them just race to the fucking pylon. And that fucking coach who turned into Dan Campbell, another NFC North guy and whatnot, and they left 9 points on the field and not on the fucking scoreboard. They would never go into overtime. It wouldn't be in overtime. It wouldn't be in it. That the game would have been over in regulation. They left 9 points for a field goal, because the Rams were done. They had nothing. Puka, all them guys, they were done. There was nothing that they could do on offense because Chicago was balling on defense and putting pressure on them. Probably the best game they probably played all year. And they had them, but you keep putting them out there, keep putting them out. It's just like with Brady. If you have a really good quarterback, not even a great quarterback, if you have a really, really, really good quarterback, if you keep giving him a chance and the game is tight, he's going to eventually snake bite you. He's going to get you. And they got him. They got all in a couple of throws, getting the field goal range, especially the way the game is played nowadays. 50-yard field goal, that's money. A 50-yard field goal is like kicking a 30-some-yard field goal nowadays. And I don't know what coach was thinking about. When you in the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned, definitely in the playoffs, you have to put the points on the board. And they left 9 points on the fucking board going for it for fucking fourth down. Absolutely ridiculous. That was a coaching mishap. Even with old boy throwing 3 picks, it didn't matter. It's like they still could have won the game. But those turnovers and then poor coaching, that cost them the game. Later on, the Bills, Coach McDermott cost them. But I talked about this a couple of years ago. McDermott is Chuck Knox for the Rams in the 70s. Look it up. Look it up. I talked about this as well in the show. So I'm telling you, old boy know what he's talking about. So, but like I say though, but that's what that's all about right there, man. And we'll see what ends up happening and whatnot. I can literally give you my picks right now for the conference championship. I'm taking Seattle, and I'm taking the Patriots. And if Seattle gets there, I got Sam Darnold because that defense is ridiculous. Another one of those ridiculous defenses. And just because I'm a DeMarcus Lawrence fan, he was the Cowboys. He tried everything. He said, I want to win a championship, and I wasn't going to get one with Dallas. That's all he needed to say for me. And just too much ridiculousness that goes on over there. But that's a whole nother subject in itself. But I'm picking that right now and whatnot. So I'm picking Seattle to win everything. All right? But let's get back to C.J. Stroud. Let's do this. And let's just do this. C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. Taking number 1, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Number 1, number 2, whatever one he's won. One-time Pro Bowler, offensive player, whatever. It's not really much talking about. Look at what this man has done. He is 28-18. It's good. Very good. He has been horrific the last few weeks. He was somewhat decently good. His second, he has regressed. 41-08, 23 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Goes 10-7 the second year, last year. 27, 20 picks, 12 ints. This year, because he's out for a concussion, 34-04, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. he missed about 3 games or so due to a concussion. Now, the thing about him, and he is a traditional passer. He doesn't have the skills to really move around or to run or do anything like that. He doesn't have that. He might need to implement that in his game. I don't know. He's regressed. And this is the thing that gets me with C.J. Stroud. And I said this was going to come back to haunt him. And it has. Here we go.
Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak, Joey B. No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts. Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak, Joey B. No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts.
This was him as a rookie. As a fucking rookie. Who the fuck told him? But see, this is a little gem that I'll tell you. See, I knew he was fucking up per se when he not only did this, but then he called himself giving Amber Rose a ride after a game or something like that. Some event. I think it was a game, giving her a ride to her hotel or wherever the fuck they were going. Because he's one of these God guys, gives everything to Sky Daddy, shout out to CGA, and all that shit, and sits up there and says that, dealing with Amber Rose. Then he says this shit right here. All that was going on his rookie year. And I'm like, bro, you better be watching out, because the other guy I'm getting ready to talk about is the reason why he's not in Houston and whatnot at this very moment right now. This is what he did. This is what he said. What has he really done? Oh, he's been in the playoffs 3 years. He's won two playoffs. He's won more than Dak. And blah, 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 blah. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit. He's played like fucking garbage. He turned the ball over, 8 times in the last 2 weeks? He's played like with that fucking defense? And I didn't get a chance to see the game anyway because I had to go to work, so I was asleep when the game started. So I caught the last quarter or whatever and stuff like that. Checked out some highlights. So absolutely horrific. He stunk up the joint. All you have to do, they could have put that other cat in, Mills or whatever his fucking name is and stuff like that. Just keep the Porsche on the fucking road, bruh. You just got to drive the car 50 fucking miles. Defense going to take care of the rest. They were still in the game, even with Stroud, when there were like 2 or 3 minutes left, he threw the ball, got missed time to jump and ended up jumping too soon, dropped the ball there to put him on the 7 or 8 yard, maybe the 10-yard line with about 2 or 3 minutes left. They just wasn't going to do anything. They just was reduced to running the ball and stuff like that. That'll get him at 16, 23, 24 points or whatever like that and get another possession. The defense comes alive even more so at that time and put the clamps on them. But when your team can't score, your defense, I don't give a fuck if it's the Steel Curtain, the 2,000 Ravens, the 85 Bears. If you're doing 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out, when you're doing that and on top of that turning the ball over, your defense will get tired. That's just human fucking nature. That's human nature. That's going to happen. And you wasted a generational defense play. What Will Anderson did, come on, man. He's regressed. And he need to go back to chalkboard, film study. Don't need to be dealing with no broads or whatever the fuck he's dealing with. Stay out of church, whatever the fuck he called himself doing. But he looks like garbage. And I had high hopes for him. Now, having said that, then we're going to go back to this guy here. We're going to go to Deshaun Watson. You couldn't have told me in 2021 or 2022 that this guy still wouldn't be the quarterback for the Houston Texans. Now, you look at what C.J. Stroud did his first 3 years with a minimum of 10 starts, and look at what Deshaun Watson did with a minimum of 10 starts his first 3 years at Houston. Let's go back to Stroud. First 3 years, 28 and 18. Now, he's had better defense and certainly better teams and whatnot a little bit, especially the first year or so, than that of Deshaun Watson. You're not going to fucking tell me that Stroud was a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson? Go back to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson played 6 games and threw 19 fucking touchdowns in 6 games and got hurt. Comes back his next year, 11-5, 4,165 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 9 picks. Go down here. Just throw the little rushing joint on there, here and there. Give you 551 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. They get to the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, and would end up losing, I think it's to the Chiefs. I want to say the Chiefs. Yeah. No, they lost to the Colts. Okay? Yeah. The next year, go back to this, the next year, division around to Kansas City, 31-51, after they was ahead. That's when Mahomes just completely showed who he was and whatnot. And they were ahead and ended up losing 31-51, ended up losing by 20. Go back to Watson again, 2020. Going back 2020, 4-12, made the Pro Bowl, led the league in passing. He's 4-12, 70% completion ratio. They sucked because the whole team sucked. They were getting rid of all of the good players. Watts, what's my man's name? I can't even think of his damn name off the damn top of my head now. Threw for 33 touchdowns. What else we got going on here? 2020, 444 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. And they dismantled this team. He said, look, I don't even want to be, if y'all going to dismantle the team like this, even after they gave him this money, if y'all going to dismantle this team, get me up out of here. And then that's when all the shit started with him. Go back to my archives. I did a show on this. There's no comparison. Their first 3 years, or the minimum of 10 starts, was to go back to Deshaun Watson's second year. We go back to his second year with 2018, 2019, 2020. CJ Stroud can't even hold this young man's jockstrap of quarterback play. Even with a 4-12 season with that bullshit team that he had and whatnot, and bullshit coaching and bullshit ownership, bullshit GM, all of that, he still led the league, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, 70% completion ratio, and over 444 yards rushing. You couldn't have never told me that this young man would be out of Houston. He's playing in Houston. They beat the fucking Patriots in the AFC Championship game. With no doubt. If he has that type of defense, it's not even fucking close, dude. And CJ Stroud is making a fucking mockery of the position, making a mockery of a fucking goddamn quarterback. He stuck up his joint. Liked him what he did his rookie year. Second year, I'm like, okay, sophomore slump. You get it together. You get it together by your third year. He doesn't get it together. And he sucked all year. It might have something to do with the concussion. I don't know. But at this particular point, extension, he's not the fucking answer, bro. Now, DeMeco Ryan may give him a chance because he was a player. Real good player at that. But he can't afford to not have a quarterback and a decent team. Now, people say Tank Bell and then the wide receivers, whatnot. I don't care. If you label yourself what you call yourself, labeling yourself as a fucking rookie, homie, you can't do the shit that you call yourself doing the last couple of weeks or the past 2 years. He has stunk up the joint. He is a liability right now. He is a liability. And he better go back to the fucking drawing board or he's going to find himself out of a fucking job. But they could have got Deshaun Watson now and he would have did better than CJ Stroud. A better quarterback rating with just spiking the fucking ball and he's playing the whole and he's dropping back and throwing the ball. Sucked. Looked horrible. And I hope he hears this shit. There's always a fan of quarterbacks, black quarterbacks and whatnot and everything. I'm a fan of the game in general of great play at every position. But when you stink it up like that and you went as high as you went, come on, man. Have some fucking pride about you. He stuck up the joint, the fucking goddamn against Pittsburgh. They still bailed him out. Patriots was too good to do that. They're too well coached to do that. You wasn't going to stick up the joint and come out of there with a victory, even though you still had somewhat of a chance. Just play basic football. You're turning the fucking ball over. How many times this Joker turned the fucking ball over, man? Against New England. 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. 4 fucking picks, sacked 3 times. We can go on about the offensive line, but come on, man. In this time of the game, bro, you're going to take off running. You can't just sit back there and do what you do. You know. But, yeah, man. But, yeah, my man need to go back to the drawing board. But you wouldn't have also never been able to tell me a few years ago that Deshaun Watson would still be quarterback in that franchise. He's on that team. They're going to the AFC Championship game. Quickly. No doubt. And would possibly go into the Super Bowl. And it's wild what that game could do to you, how it humbles you, and how things can happen and all this other kind of shit. Like I said, I did a show on about that. I'm not going to even go rant and rave about that. But I gave you guys my picks. I gave you guys my little, information on CJ and the whole debauchery and the ridiculous coaching of the Bears and whatnot. It's just coaching caused them for not even celeb, not Williams, the coach. He left 9 points not on the fucking board. He left it on the field and didn't put it on the goddamn board. He wants to turn it into fucking Dan Campbell. Okay? Like I tell you guys all the time. Plus I gave you guys my pick. I tell you guys all the time. Numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. And like I tell you, there's no greatest of all time. As long as time is still going on. Like I tell you guys all the time. Numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one.